For years, Queen Elizabeth was said to have handled royal matters with incredible patience and precision, and some royal insiders believe her jewelry vault played a bigger role than most people realized. Instead of public disputes or dramatic statements, important decisions were often reflected through royal traditions, titles, and priceless jewels. Many observers noticed that several iconic pieces linked to senior royal status became more closely connected to Catherine over time, while Camilla appeared to have fewer opportunities to wear them. To some, it looked like a quiet but powerful message unfolding behind palace walls. One story from the early months of Charles and Camilla's marriage has been discussed for years. Just 6 months after the wedding, Camilla was preparing for an official engagement with Charles. After decades in the public spotlight, she reportedly felt comfortable stepping into her new role. She selected jewelry from the royal collection, got ready for the event, and headed toward the waiting car. Everything seemed routine, with staff moving around and preparations running smoothly. Then the situation took a sudden turn. A royal official reportedly arrived with a message from the Queen's office. According to the account, the jewelry Camilla was wearing had not received the required approval. Palace rules required authorization before certain royal pieces could be worn, and the note instructed her to remove the jewelry before leaving for the engagement. The moment quickly became uncomfortable. Camilla reportedly looked toward Charles, but witnesses claimed he avoided eye contact and looked down. Whether intentional or not, that reaction became one of the most talked about parts of the story. Standing in front of staff, security, and others nearby, Camilla was said to remove each piece of jewelry one by one. The atmosphere reportedly grew tense, and people around her appeared eager to focus their attention elsewhere. For royal watchers, it became a striking example of how strict royal protocol could create awkward and unforgettable moments behind the scenes. When Camilla finally held the jewelry in her hands, she reportedly looked toward Charles one more time, hoping for some kind of reaction. But according to accounts of the moment, he still avoided meeting her eyes. Trying to keep her composure, she turned around and walked back into the palace. People who knew her during those early years later claimed the experience hit her hard. What had started as a routine royal engagement had suddenly become an embarrassing public setback, and many believed she felt completely exposed by what had happened. One source close to Camilla recalled that after returning inside, she confronted Charles in frustration. According to the account, she asked, "Is this how it is going to be? Is this what I signed up for? Because if this is what you brought me into, Charles, you should have told me." Whether the exchange happened exactly that way or not, it reflected a belief shared by many royal observers. Charles often struggled when caught between his wife and his mother. That moment became part of a larger narrative that would follow the family for years. Supporters of this theory argue that the incident was about more than jewelry or palace procedures. They believe it sent a message about who ultimately controlled royal symbols, traditions, and privileges. Within the royal family, jewelry is often viewed as far more than decoration. Many pieces carry decades of history and are closely tied to the women who wore them before. When a senior royal is seen wearing a significant piece, it can be interpreted as a sign of trust, status, and acceptance. Just as importantly, people notice when certain items remain out of reach. Camilla was eventually seen wearing some spectacular jewels from the royal collection, including several eye-catching tiaras that commanded attention at major events. To the public, it looked impressive and royal. But some commentators pointed out that many of those pieces lacked the deep personal connections attached to famous jewels associated with previous princesses of Wales. That distinction fueled years of speculation that, despite the glamour, some of the most meaningful symbols of royal history remained beyond her grasp. Behind palace walls, there were reportedly unwritten rules that carried just as much weight as official policies. According to royal accounts, staff members understood that certain historic pieces from the royal collection were simply not available to Camilla. There was reportedly no public announcement, no formal document, and no royal decree. Instead, the understanding was passed along quietly through palace channels. Everyone involved supposedly knew which jewels could be offered and which ones were to remain untouched. The most talked about example was Queen Alexandra's wedding necklace. The piece was originally given to Princess Alexandra of Denmark in 1863 and eventually became one of the most recognizable symbols connected to the Princess of Wales title. Over the decades, it was worn by prominent royal women and became closely tied to the history of that role. When Queen Elizabeth inherited the necklace after the Queen Mother's passing, many royal watchers assumed it would one day be associated with the next holder of the title. When Camilla married Charles in 2005 and became Princess of Wales in legal terms, some expected the famous necklace to appear at official events, but year after year, it remained absent from public view. It was not seen at state banquets, major diplomatic receptions, or high-profile royal portraits. As time passed, speculation grew about why such an important piece seemed to have disappeared completely from the spotlight. Then came a moment that sparked intense discussion among royal followers. During a 2018 state banquet at Buckingham Palace honoring the King and Queen of the Netherlands, Catherine appeared wearing the historic necklace. The images quickly spread across newspapers and television broadcasts around the world. For many observers, the choice carried enormous symbolic weight. Catherine was married to Prince William, while Camilla held the more senior position at the time. That detail immediately fueled fresh debate about what message, if any, was being sent through the selection of royal jewels. To critics, it looked like a deliberate signal. To others, it was simply a matter of royal preference and protocol. Either way, the photographs became some of the most analyzed royal images of the year. What had once seemed like an ordinary piece of jewelry suddenly became the center of a much larger conversation about status, tradition, and influence inside the royal family. The speculation only grew stronger from there. The Cambridge Lover's Knot tiara is far more than a famous royal jewel. It became one of the most recognizable symbols of Princess Diana. Throughout the 1980s and 1990s, millions of people saw the tiara in photographs, official portraits, state banquets, and magazine covers around the world. Over time, the image of Diana and the tiara became so closely linked that many people found it difficult to think of one without the other. It wasn't just a piece of jewelry, it became part of her public legacy. When Camilla married Charles in 2005 and became Princess of Wales in legal terms, some royal watchers expected the tiara to eventually return to public view through her. Instead, it remained absent for years. The famous jewel stayed out of sight, fueling endless speculation among royal followers about its future and who might wear it next. According to reports, discussions took place behind palace walls about whether the tiara should remain in regular use at all. Some believed its connection to Diana was so powerful that any future wearer would face constant comparisons. The emotional weight attached to the piece was enormous, and many felt that whoever received it would instantly become the subject of intense public attention. Elizabeth reportedly chose a different path. Rather than retiring the tiara, she kept it within the royal collection and waited for what many believed was the right moment. That moment arrived in 2015, when Catherine appeared wearing the Lover's Knot tiara. The decision was widely embraced by the public. For many observers, it felt like a natural continuation of history, with Diana's iconic tiara now worn by the wife of her eldest son. The symbolism was impossible to miss. For royal commentators, the move sparked another wave of debate about the significance of royal jewels and what messages they might carry. Catherine would also go on to wear other historic pieces linked to royal history, including jewels once associated with Diana and other senior royals. Whether these decisions reflected tradition, symbolism, or simple preference, they continued to fuel fascination with the royal collection and the stories hidden behind some of its most famous treasures. Some of the most important jewels in the royal collection were not the biggest or most expensive pieces on display at state banquets. They were the personal treasures connected to Queen Elizabeth's own life and memories. These pieces carried stories of family, love, and major moments in royal history. That is why many royal watchers paid close attention to who was chosen to wear them. One jewel that sparked huge interest was the Nizam of Hyderabad necklace. Often described as one of the most valuable pieces in the royal collection, it became famous through Queen Elizabeth's portraits during the early years of her reign. The necklace was not just admired for its beauty, it was also linked to some of the most iconic images ever taken of the late Queen, giving it enormous symbolic value within the royal family. In February 2014, the necklace suddenly returned to the spotlight when Catherine wore it to a gala at London's National Portrait Gallery. The appearance made headlines and immediately triggered discussion among royal followers. By that point, Camilla had spent years carrying out royal duties as Duchess of Cornwall. Because of that, some commentators questioned why certain historic pieces continued appearing on Catherine's instead of her. According to accounts discussed by royal biographer Tom Bower, the situation reportedly became a sensitive subject behind palace walls. Sources claimed Camilla felt that decisions surrounding royal jewelry reflected a larger pattern. One reported exchange included her telling Charles, "Your mother has been doing this for years, Charles. How long are you going to pretend you don't see it?" The quote has been widely repeated by royal commentators and biographers over the years. Charles reportedly raised concerns through private channels and sought answers from palace aides. Whether those conversations led anywhere remains unclear. What is certain is that every major jewelry appearance continued to attract attention, fueling speculation and debate among royal fans. In the world of royalty, even a necklace can become the center of a much bigger story. According to royal accounts, the response Charles received regarding the jewelry collection was simple and firm. The royal collection was controlled by the reigning monarch, and decisions about who wore which pieces rested entirely with the sovereign. That meant there was little anyone else could do. Whether people agreed with those choices or not, Queen Elizabeth's authority over the collection was final throughout her reign. For years, royal watchers speculated about the significance behind certain jewels being worn by some family members and not others. As long as Elizabeth remained on the throne, those decisions stayed under her control. But everything changed on September 8, 2022, when the Queen passed away. The event marked the end of a historic reign and the beginning of a new chapter for the royal family. With King Charles III ascending the throne, Camilla became Queen Consort. Suddenly, the royal landscape looked very different. The traditions, preferences, and informal practices associated with Elizabeth's reign were no longer guiding every decision. For the first time in many years, royal observers began wondering whether some long-standing patterns surrounding the royal jewelry collection might also change. That speculation gained momentum when Camilla appeared at a diplomatic reception wearing the Greville Emerald tiara. The stunning piece, originally created by the French jewelry house Boucheron in 1919, is considered one of the most impressive tiaras in the royal collection. Its design features a striking emerald centerpiece that immediately draws attention. This is not the kind of jewel that blends into the background. It dominates the room the moment it appears. The tiara's appearance generated major interest among royal followers because it had rarely been associated with Camilla in the past. For years, commentators had noted which historic jewels she wore and which remained absent from her public appearances. Seeing her step out in such a famous and dramatic piece sparked a fresh wave of discussion. To many royal watchers, it felt like a powerful symbol that a new era had truly begun within the monarchy. Many royal commentators have argued that Queen Elizabeth was always highly aware of public opinion and how royal appearances would be received by the media. Because of that, some believe certain jewelry decisions were made with public reaction firmly in mind. One example often mentioned is the Greville Emerald Kokoshnik tiara, a dramatic piece that attracted attention whenever it appeared in public. In 2018, The tiara was loaned to Princess Eugenie for her wedding. The choice was widely praised, and the jewel became one of the standout features of the royal event. Because the occasion centered on a wedding celebration, the tiara received positive coverage and was viewed through a different lens than it might have been at a major political or state occasion. Some royal observers later suggested that the appearance helped reintroduce the piece to the public in a way that generated admiration rather than controversy. Years later, when Camilla wore the same tiara in 2025, the reaction was noticeably calmer than many expected. By then, the jewel was already familiar to the public, and discussions focused more on its history and beauty than on any surrounding drama. For some commentators, the timing highlighted how carefully royal image management can shape public perception over time. Behind the scenes, reports from various royal authors and commentators have claimed that jewelry selections were sometimes a source of frustration within royal circles. According to these accounts, there were occasions when pieces expected by one royal family member ended up being assigned elsewhere. Whether these stories were the result of palace protocol, scheduling decisions, or something more deliberate remains open to debate. Still, such reports have fueled years of speculation among royal followers. That is why Camilla's decision to wear the Greville emerald tiara attracted so much attention. To many observers, it felt like more than a simple fashion choice. It looked like a statement that a new chapter had begun, and according to royal commentators, the developments that followed would create even more discussion throughout royal circles. In May 2023, one of the first major portraits of King Charles III's reign was released to the public. The image featured Charles and Queen Camilla at the center, presenting the face of the monarchy as it entered a new era. But royal watchers quickly focused on another detail in the photograph. Catherine was wearing the George VI festoon necklace, one of the most recognizable jewels in royal history. The necklace held enormous significance because Queen Elizabeth had worn it regularly for decades, including at numerous state openings of Parliament. Generations of royal followers associated the piece with Elizabeth's reign, making it one of the strongest visual symbols connected to her public image. Because of that history, its appearance in the portrait immediately attracted attention and sparked discussion among commentators. Following Elizabeth's passing, the necklace became part of the collection inherited by King Charles. When Catherine appeared wearing it in such an important portrait, many observers viewed the choice as highly symbolic. Some royal commentators noted that Queen Camilla, as the sitting queen consort, might traditionally have been expected to play a role in discussions surrounding significant jewelry selections. Reports suggested that Charles ultimately made the decision himself, adding another layer of intrigue to the story. The portrait quickly became one of the most analyzed royal images of the year. Supporters saw it as a tribute to Queen Elizabeth's legacy, while others viewed it as a sign of Catherine's growing prominence within the monarchy. Either way, the photograph generated headlines across the world and fueled fresh debate about the meaning behind royal traditions and ceremonial jewels. Yet, according to royal commentators, the discussion did not stop there. A few years later, another major jewelry moment captured attention during a Buckingham Palace state banquet. In December 2025, Catherine arrived wearing the Oriental Circlet tiara, a historic piece with deep royal connections. The appearance immediately sparked conversation throughout royal circles, with many observers treating it as one of the most significant jewelry choices of the new reign. Once again, a single royal jewel became the center of a much larger story. The Oriental Circlet tiara is considered one of the most historic pieces in the British royal collection. Created during Queen Victoria's era and featuring striking ruby details, it has long been associated with senior royal women and major ceremonial occasions. Because of its history and status, every appearance of the tiara attracts enormous attention from royal watchers around the world. When Catherine appeared wearing the Oriental Circlet at a Buckingham Palace state banquet in 2025, the decision immediately became a major talking point. At the time, Camilla was queen consort, while Catherine held the title of Princess of Wales. That distinction led many commentators to debate the significance of the loan and what message, if any, it was intended to send. Royal jewelry has always carried symbolic value, which is why such choices are often analyzed in extraordinary detail. According to various royal reports, discussions reportedly took place behind palace walls before the appearance was approved. Some commentators claim there were concerns about the historical importance of the tiara and whether it should be worn by someone who was not queen consort. Others argued that royal jewelry loans have evolved over time and that traditions can change depending on circumstances. Regardless of the reasoning, the decision moved forward and quickly became one of the most discussed royal fashion moments of the year. For many royal observers, the event was seen as part of a larger pattern involving the distribution of important royal jewels. Over the years, pieces such as the Lover's Knot tiara, the Nizam of Hyderabad necklace, the Bahrain pearl jewels, and other historic items frequently appeared on Catherine during major occasions. Each appearance generated fresh speculation about symbolism, status, and the future direction of the monarchy. Whether these decisions reflected personal preference, royal tradition, or long-term planning remains a matter of debate. What is certain is that the royal jewelry collection continues to fascinate the public like few other royal subjects can. Every necklace, bracelet, and tiara seems to carry a story of its own, and every appearance sparks a new wave of discussion across royal circles and the media alike. One of the most intriguing stories surrounding Queen Elizabeth's jewelry collection involves the famous Brazilian aquamarine set. Unlike many royal jewels that had been passed down through generations, these pieces were closely tied to Elizabeth's own life and reign. In 1953, the people of Brazil gifted the young queen a stunning aquamarine necklace and matching earrings. She reportedly treasured them so much that she later commissioned a matching tiara, creating one of the most distinctive jewelry sets in the royal collection. Over the decades, the Brazilian aquamarines became strongly associated with Elizabeth herself. They appeared at major royal events and were featured in some of her most memorable public appearances. What made the set particularly unusual was that it was rarely, if ever, seen on other members of the royal family during her reign. As a result, many royal followers came to view the collection as something uniquely connected to the late queen. After Elizabeth's passing in 2022, the aquamarines largely disappeared from public view. Their absence immediately sparked curiosity among royal watchers, especially because other famous jewels from the collection continued to appear at official events. Speculation grew about whether the set would eventually be worn by another senior royal or remain preserved as a personal part of Elizabeth's legacy. According to accounts discussed by royal commentators and references connected to Angela Kelly's memoirs, Elizabeth reportedly viewed the aquamarines differently from many other pieces in her collection. The jewels were said to carry deeply personal memories connected to specific moments from her reign. Because of that, some reports suggested she preferred them to remain closely linked to her own story, rather than becoming part of the regular rotation of royal jewelry. Whether those wishes will continue to shape the future of the collection remains uncertain. What is clear is that the Brazilian aquamarines occupy a special place in royal history. More than just valuable gemstones, they became a symbol of Elizabeth's personal legacy, making them one of the most fascinating and mysterious sets in the entire royal collection. For years, royal watchers pointed to a pattern they believed was impossible to ignore. Every redirected jewel, every historic piece that remained out of sight, and every major appearance involving the royal collection seemed to spark the same discussion again and again. Whether by tradition, personal preference, or careful planning, some of the monarchy's most famous treasures repeatedly found their way into the spotlight through Catherine rather than Camilla. Camilla ultimately became queen, and her place in royal history is secure. Her name will forever be linked to one of the most significant chapters in the modern monarchy. But when people look back at the jewels that captured headlines and dominated royal conversations, many of the most iconic pieces tell a different story. The lover's knot tiara, the Nizam of Hyderabad necklace, the Bahrain pearls, the Alexandra necklace, the George VI festoon necklace, and even the historic Oriental circlet all became part of a larger debate about symbolism, status, and the future of the royal family. What made the situation so fascinating was that no public argument ever took place. Queen Elizabeth never gave interviews criticizing Camilla. She never delivered speeches about her, and she never publicly explained the reasoning behind any jewelry decisions. Instead, the royal collection itself became the focus of endless speculation. Every appearance, every loan, and every absence generated fresh headlines and new theories. To many royal observers, that is what made the story so remarkable. The most talked about messages were never delivered through public statements or dramatic confrontations. They were interpreted through traditions, symbols, and jewels that carried generations of royal history with them. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and leave your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear what you think about this fascinating royal story.